great they are.
They're short people. We Chef Bay's ugly toes.
Ugly toes. Who got ugly toes? Yeah, screenshot that, you bastards. Wow. Getting to That's a Zulu rockstar. That is a Zulu rockstar to this.
Andy, this is going digital. Here's a list of programs you want to do. Keep up with the triangles, team by Japanese, right? If you come riding, you've got profit, 2.5 LGC. I'm a video here.
Whose pub is it anyway?
So you think you're a yellow bone? Dating in the dark, sponsored by Visa.
What about Slay Queen? Is there a Slay Queen show?
Mission Impossible. It was a billionaire. Fast and the Furious combi.
And this got awkward for me.
Why?
I don't know, Talitha. Why did it get awkward for you, my sister? Why are you starting? I'm not starting, my nigga. I'm sharing, my nigga. Come on, Alex. So yesterday we had Carl Joshua Ngube and his lovely wife Nelsie here in the evening. You know, we were chilling and talking, and we got into this 3-hour triad debate about Gukura Hundi. My God! Now, funny thing is, right? So my partner here is Ndebele.
Very. I'm proud.
And she's a Ngube. Carl is Ndebele, but his partner is a Shona. So it was the most.
Grew up in Matebeleland.
Who grew up in Matebeleland. So it was one of the most insightful conversations about Gukura Hundi ever. So we are going to be doing a series.
Don't say the title yet.
Oh, come on, the title is dope.
No, but we have to do that though. Okay, whatever.
The title is dope. I'll delete the video after. Sorry. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a series, right? Where we're gonna talk to a bunch of brothers and sisters from Matebeleland or originating from Matebeleland. So we're gonna sit down with Titan. We're gonna sit down with Vusa Blacks. We're gonna sit down with Carl Joshua Ngube.
Many others.
We'll sit down with Albert Nyati. We'll sit down with a bunch of guys.
And we'll call Dubiso Davenga.
Yes, we'll call Dubiso Davenga.
Fair share of questions.
But we need to sit down and talk about Gukura Hundi
as a new generation.
In the new generation, right? So, because yesterday's conversations were riveting. I mean, things that Carl told me about his experience with Gukura Hundi as a young child, hiding under cars and watching people get killed. I mean, it was insane. I mean, you would never think Carl Joshua Ngube went through that kind of thing, right? Hearing my wife here talking about Gukura Hundi.
Extended hate.
Because, you didn't actually see it, but you experienced it. So, the title of the show, right, is going to be like a Tea Party Extreme Extension. It's going to be called
Sleeping with the Enemy.
It's going to be called Sleeping with the Enemy. So, it's going to be interesting because we're going to get the perspective of a younger generation on what Gukura Hundi is. The unsaid. Like, there's a lot of things that I learned I was quiet. Guys, it's impossible to believe, but I was quiet for like 3 hours.
Legit?
3 hours I was quiet.
Nah, not that long.
2 hours.
Just longer breaks than usual. Kudamsa Siwa would be quiet.
I was quiet and we spoke about, I was listening to guys talk about Gukura Hundi and I listened to a very crazy perspective from Carl Joshua Ngube, who's a childhood friend of mine. We grew up together, went to school together. I mean, I dare say he was best man at my first wedding. But listen, I learned things. How old
was Carl?
Exactly. This is weird.
Carl is he's like 40 now, yeah?
He's 38.
38.
Charro.
Yeah. And that was
he
happened.
He narrated a story about when he was 3-4 years old, yeah? When his father had to put him under a car. What was it? He told me the car it was.
Yeah.
And they were hiding under the car. And because he was crying, his father was closing his mouth and pinching him to shut up. Because the soldiers were literally in the village shooting people. I mean, the story is crazy. Fucking crazy. So I said, look, guys, we as a generation need to talk about this stuff. So, listen, guys. So we're going to have to talk about this as a generation.
Mm-hmm.
So
and also, what are the results that we want? Like, yesterday, I asked Carl on a Ndebele person, like, okay, so we're so angry about this. Legit, I can't dismiss it even in normal spaces. But if somebody had to ask whether it's reparation or truth and reconciliation, whether with its pros and cons, what is it that we want as a people? Like, can we start determining how we are going to deal with this hate, how it's not transferred to people like me who firstly weren't born, didn't exist in that time. It's only stories from our grandfathers and our fathers, people who had to leave that horror, who are telling that story and build or plant that hate or that seed of I don't trust the next person because of their tribe or where they come from, and never about whether can I open myself up to learn them and know them as a human being, you know. So it's a very sensitive issue, but it will never stop being an issue that we get over, so that we can start talking about that development that we're talking about, so that devolution doesn't look like it's us breaking away and creating other kingdoms. I don't agree with Umtwakazi and what they completely stand for. I don't think it's sensible. It doesn't make sense for me. But there are other people who subscribe to that, and they believe so strongly simply for the reasons that there are people who are labeled in the Shona community or even the EDs of this world who we can't, because of them, would rather create a nation or a kingdom that we don't know will function without the rest of the arms that Zimbabwe holds us to. You know, we were happy to say no, but then Sudan and South Sudan, but we actually don't know what it takes to build the whole nation. And the people are pushing this agenda are quartered to death. They're quartered to death, right? And they'll leave younger people.
Tonight saying was, look, Carl is now 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
38 years old, which means that he was around 1985, around 1983.
Yeah.
He was probably like 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. Yeah, he was probably about 5-6 years old. Okay, when what happened, he told us a very insane story. Like, and I think I would like him to tell it himself because he.
And also, I feel like let's stop dismissing that because you're a child you forget some of these things. Even putting it in divorce context, I always said I'll put it out there anyway. I've always said to my parents that they always say, oh, when everything happened, when they separated, we were too young. I can narrate so many situations that they thought are so young to I should have forgotten that it happened. When something traumatizes you at a young age, you may not have the specific details of what time it was, where it was, what day it was, but you definitely know what happened, and you can retrace how you felt about it, and you can still feel it now. It's because of those things. You never dealt with it, so you keep it in you and you grow it. Each and every other day you think about it, it grows on you. So don't be telling people that it's 3-year-old stories and you can't remember. That's not true. And don't do that to your kids, to some of these things that you do.
Well, listen.
Remember.
And also, I mean, look, put it this way. There's a time when Nelsie Mube, you know, Carl's wife, and you know they're very close as a couple. She said something about, so what exactly do you guys want as far as, what does this devolution mean? And I mean, you know, it was weird because as Shonas we have a certain privilege. She wasn't being insensitive. She was actually not knowing.
Yeah, it's a really genuine question.
It's a genuine question.
Where you can even admit to say, I'm asking out of ignorance. So you feel comfortable about telling me or teaching me.
So she actually went into this really weird triad of asking, what the fuck do you exactly mean? I mean, do you want to break away as a whole entire nation, or what do you? So I think emotions then got really turned up, and so that's when I started to speak, and I said, look, I had to sort of break it down from the perspective of the Northern Irish, where there was the IRA and the Sinn Féin and stuff. So we went deep into the whole what devolution is and why people need to be given an opportunity to look after their own destinies in their own communities with their own tribal context. You know how Scotland has their own version of the British pound and so forth. So there are a lot of things that we talked about yesterday, which I swear I wish we had filmed it because it was so riveting. But what we will do is we will do like a Sleeping with the Enemy series conversation, and we'll try and get as many Ndebele people, you know,
even Shona people.
There's people like Titan, for example, who grew up in waterfalls but speak fluent Ndebele and their parents are Ndebele. Yeah, people like Zezuru Rockstar, who is a Shona who grew up in Bulawayo and speaks fluent Ndebele, and he has a different perspective. So there's a lot of different things. So as a generation, we need to talk.
Yeah, and also I think, Mpilo, our conversation is not about who do you support for the nation's building or leadership per se, right? It's also about how do we build communities that are so strong that without the politics, we don't degenerate into these and like we don't lose focus when our politics goes wrong. You know, that's how probably things went really bad in them, right? When you have a rotten leadership, even everything else, common courtesy also goes out of the window just because the politics is that type of thing. So we need to at least establish that from a societal point of view, and you and I are responsible for that. You can't expect politicians to be responsible for that type of thing.
So James, things like what you just said about as long as they don't force my kids to speak Ndebele, I'm G, right? Those kind of things are the things we're gonna really dissect.
Yeah, but okay, let me respond to this.
Not yet, ma'am. There's no need.
Okay.
I'm conversation. I remember people mustn't talk crap. Don't remember. What do they mean? I can literally see my grandmother running around. I mean, these are the things we're gonna really dissect and talk about.
Yeah.
Mpilo, I need you to stop talking ZANU-PF for the time being, because at the time it wasn't even ZANU-PF. Remember, it was ZANU and ZAPU. So we need to stop talking that for now, and I think as a generation we're going to actually talk a lot about the whole issue. So, Sleeping with the Enemy, we're going to, hopefully we start today, if we get in touch with the Nubes again, we'll start talking to people from Matabeleland descent, and start breaking down the stories, and hopefully...
I mean, I also think there are people who are from Binga, who are not necessarily in Ndebele. People are from Matabeleland. There's so many tribes that exist in this region that we are kind of fusing them into this whole Ndebele space that isn't necessarily their space. They have a different story to tell. You know, they've got their own, like, it's a different story that must be had, and it's a conversation that we all should have, you know, whether we like it or not. Going forward, it's necessary for us to, you know, dig deeper into that. We will ask questions. There are people who owe us answers, and when we don't have those answers, we must be ready to say, okay, without the answers, how do we then deal with it going forward? You know, type of thing.
Yes, and right now we have a president who has a lot to answer for. Let's not be the generation that kept quiet and let this stuff just fester under our skin and rot without us dealing with it. So we're gonna have to really, really deal. Wait, ZANU-PF were not in power. ZANU was in power.
Okay. So also this one on Chennai, does it not take us back to the point? It then is going to go to addressing the redundancy of why should we have two vice presidents, to be specifically talking about one should be Ndebele and one should be Shona, and address this whole balance that Nkomo and Mugabe thought was best for their time, right? We talk about having a huge government because we're trying to accommodate people and be like, okay, everyone come, let's eat, when it should be an issue of efficiency in a government, right? So maybe if we went and talked about that, it's going to address those redundancies. Like, is it necessary? Does having a vice president who's Shona and a president who's Shona change things? Does having a Ndebele president actually affect the way our country is run? Does it marginalize a certain group of people? And how do I avoid those spaces later on in life? You know, because you always have people who even say that you'll never see Ndebele become a president. Why is it impossible?
Well, look, I want you guys to focus on Alex Mringani's comment. He said, why do you mean privileged blood? So you think Shona's just woke up and decided to kill people? Like I said, Alex is a young brother who grew up in Matabeleland, speaks Ndebele fluently, and has a different, absolutely different perspective of what happened in Matabeleland. So we need to absolutely talk about this as generation. Taro Daphne says, I grew up with the Ndebele people and speak fluent Ndebele. I must say, as a Shona, I love the spirit and strong love that runs constant amongst the Ndebele. These people are hurt people. Taro Daphne, you're absolutely correct.
That is so true.
If you have time, one of these evenings where we're gonna try and look for you as well. We're gonna talk to anyone who actually has a perspective and has something to say about this. As a generation, we're not gonna bury this under the carpet anymore. We're gonna talk about it. We're not gonna attack each other. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna talk to
Tell
our
us
fathers.
how it makes you feel.
We'll talk to our fathers about it, because our fathers ignored it. Then we're gonna talk to our leaders about it. So we're gonna start with ourselves as a generation. We're gonna talk.
And have a resolve. Our teachers the MDC Alliance and we're acting united when we're not united in the front. So let's have a resolve as a generation. What is it that we want? What do we get out of it? And then go and start finding those things that we want. Because when we have that resolve, we're probably more clear and more efficient to getting over this. There's no burying of hate. There should be forgiveness. And it's not going to come from
hiding.
Yeah.
We can't hide anymore.
And there's no institution absolutely that's going to help us fulfill it. We have to take some level of responsibility to do it.
Thank you very much, Chef Bay.
Yay.
Thank you for the coffee.
Swimming.
So Sleeping with the Enemy, new series on the Tea Party. It's about Bukura Hundi and the problems of ignoring the problems like our fathers did. And we're going to ask some hard questions to our leaders, to each other as a generation. It's going to be co-hosted by the beautiful, lovely, talented Chef Bay. Sleeping with the Enemy. Today we're going to talk to the Ngubes, a Shona and Ndebele couple who yesterday discovered that there's a lot of issues that they don't even know as a couple and have not addressed as a couple, as a very close couple. So it's gonna be interesting, and I'm looking forward to exploring us as a generation. We want to keep it clean. We're not going to be effing and blinding. I think that conversation is too important. We need to have a record. We're going to put it out there on YouTube and Facebook. We're going to make sure everybody can see it. We're going to make sure that everybody can talk about it. Make sure everyone sees every perspective. You said the church leaders must come through?
Yeah.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely.
We need some Jesus in this space.
We need some Jesus in this space. Hi guys, love you all. Thank you very much for joining in. If you want to be a part of it, hit me in the inbox. It'd be nice to talk to some of the guys who said they saw things, they witnessed things. Because we don't even have to be together. We can talk via internet. We can connect via Skype and stuff. And we can broadcast. We can get everybody involved in the conversation. It has to be mass representative. I know the Shonas who have things to say. There's even a white Murungu guy who has something to say. He had a lot of things to say. You need to start speaking Ndebele. Absolutely, man. I'm learning every single day. And I am learning every. Alright, guys, later. Oh, did I not stop the light?